This commitment to God isn't so much your commitment to Him as much as it's His commitment to you. Did you hear that? This commitment to God is not so much your commitment to Him as much as it is His commitment to you. Did you hear that? That's huge. You know, this isn't about us doing what we're supposed to do. This is about God doing in us and through us what we can't do. So we should always say in these situations, I can't. Only God can. That's the first premise of beginning to experience life and marriage as God intended. And so, as we realize that God's committed to us, we should then seek the intensive counseling. Because counseling is not a bad thing. Frankly, everybody needs counseling, okay? I'm a counselor and I'm telling you that. I get counsel regularly from my mentors and talk about all the issues in my life. Anytime you don't think you need counseling, you need counseling. Just say it. And men in particular think they don't need counseling. No, we all do. And counseling shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. It's basically discipleship. It's basically allowing God to hone us, to reveal those areas in our psyche, in our soul, where He has not been able to fill us with His Spirit and have control over our thoughts, our emotions, our decisions, and our ultimate behavioral expressions. And so when you go to counseling, when people come to me, the first thing I tell them is no condemnation. I tell them there's nothing wrong with you. They say, well, didn't you hear the problems that we have? I said, yeah, I understand you have problems. Everybody has problems. But your problems don't mean that there's something inherently wrong with you. It just means you don't understand how to function. You don't know how to participate with Christ. And so that's what I'm going to try to help you to understand, so that you don't give yourself to these old fleshly patterns, these old coping mechanisms of the flesh. And so, understanding that God's committed to you and then you participate with Him in that commitment, then you allow for the counseling process to be an encouragement, begin to reveal deeper things that you weren't aware of, begin to trust the pastor or the counselor that you're seeking and let them speak into your lives. So often I have somebody that starts to come and then they kind of feel like things are a little better, and then I begin to identify deeper issues in their life and they don't want to deal with them. And I've had this happen so many times where they leave and then a few years later they come back and they got the same issues because they never dealt with the ones they should have dealt with the first time. So please let somebody see your blind spots. Do you see those right there? See my hands? I don't see them. These are my blind spots. And somebody else can speak into my life and help me to understand those blind spots. But I have to let them. And the key to letting somebody speak into your blind spots, first of all, no condemnation. Secondly, for you to have a teachable spirit. Okay? So the counseling should be taken first individually. I'm talking about abuse now. I'm not talking about just normal marital counseling. I'm talking about when there is hardcore abuse. Both the husband and the wife independently need to get counseling and work on what? Not their marriage. On their own deep inner personal issues. That's vitally important. And finally, after time, then when the counselors believe there's been enough progress, then it can begin to become marriage counseling. And then at some point, if children were involved, those children need to be a part of that process as well. There needs to be family counseling as well. Because frankly, everybody needs help. Because this abuse has usually gone on for some time, and there's damage, and there's woundedness, and there's hurt, and there's pain, there's anger, there's bitterness, and there's unresolved rejections from childhood forward. And so all those things need to be addressed. And so you could see, this could take some time. Don't think you're going to resolve this in a week or in a month. This could take some time. And I'm not trying to put a specific time frame on it. Whatever time God deems, and whatever time that individual is willing to really participate in with the Lord. And so what I want to encourage you on a subject like this, where we're talking about marital abuse, is that change is possible. Please, the first resort should not be divorce. So often in our society, divorce is the first thing that's considered. God hates divorce. I'm not for divorce. God's not for divorce. God has said, what I have joined together, let no man put asunder. And so allow God to use this abuse, to use this dysfunction. Allow him to make beauty for ashes. Allow him to work supernaturally, his grace activity in that couple's lives. There's nothing more beautiful than a marriage that was struggling to this degree, that experiences healing and grace and restoration, and then become a testimony of what God has done in their lives. And so change is possible for an abusive person who truly repents, a change of mind, a change of behavior, and humbles themselves and surrenders themselves first to the Lord, then to some Christian counseling, and then to their spouse. So the last thing I want to leave you with is that over this separation time, what's going to become apparent sooner than later, if the abuser is actually seeking help, they are going to get healthy. And as a result, their spiritual healthiness is going to facilitate the reconciling. Because here's the key. Healthy people only bond with healthy persons. So what I'm saying is this. Let's just use the example of the wife having been the one that was abused and the husband's the abuser. And over time, the husband really doesn't get any help. He fights against the therapy. He's really not cooperative. And the wife's getting her own counseling. She's beginning to deal with her own issues. She begins to become more spiritually healthy. And she's growing and maturing. You know what's going to happen? That husband who's still an abuser and refusing to get healthy himself, he's not even going to be interested in her anymore. He's not even going to be attracted to her anymore. Why? Because she's in a completely different spiritual plateau. And ultimately, I personally believe that the thing that ultimately attracts couples, I know it was the physical attraction, it was love at first sight, and then it was the psychological connection, and we had so many same things in common interests. I get all that. I have counseled couples for decades. But I would suggest that the underlying primary issue that attracted you to that person that you weren't even aware of was the spiritual dynamic. That we were equally spiritual, healthy or unhealthy. And that's what opened the door for the possibility of a relationship with that person. Many couples have never thought of that. But when there's this abuse that comes into the picture, you will definitely see if both individuals are participating individually in counseling, in therapy, and getting healthy, their spiritual dynamic will change and they will be attracted on a new level spiritually like never before. I hope this encourages you, and I pray for you if you're in an abusive situation.
We hope you enjoyed today's video on Life as God Intended. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that button below so you get a notification every time we upload one of our weekly videos. Be sure to hop over to our blog where you can read articles and notes on today's message and sign up for our emails there. We'll see you back here in a few days, and until then, enjoy life as God intended.